welcome back everybody to Squid League, Little Squid League 43. I am Marshy, and currently we have a stand-in with my good friend Jub.
Yes, I'm Job. We are working on getting Cater back here in the commentator booth, but for now, we're getting right into tower control on MakoMart with the Night Logic versus Lethal Slide.
What are your predictions for this game today?
Oh, that's a very good question. You know what? I've seen the Logic around a lot. So just on name recognition alone, I'm gonna give them the favor.
As we can see here, both teams are trying to take mid right now and getting that tower and getting them points right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Night Logic is coming on strong for this opening. They're already down to 60 points remaining, and it looks like Lethal Slide is trying to fight their way back into not even mid, just trying to, put up a defense.
Get themselves, get the Night Logic away from their snipes right now and trying to get the push in to get that tower stopped, but as we can currently see, that is not working out in their favor right now.
Yeah, well, it looks like they were able to stop it for a bit there, and we've got a highly contentious tower right now. Nobody's on it, but it looks like there's some skirmishing going on.
As we can see here, the Night Logic really does have that chokehold on Lethal Slide right now, but they are slowly getting picked off one by one, but as we can see, each side are still losing their members as we speak.
Yeah, they just got to that second checkpoint just for a second. Wasn't able to push it any further, but now it looks like they might finally get some control in mid here, Lethal Slide. Can you tell I haven't done this before?
Nobody had touched tower, so it was currently going back to neutral. But that probably was a bad idea coming from Lethal Slide right there. But even so, they are still slowly inching that tower back to neutral and across the line.
Yeah, and they got 3 of them down on Night Logic just a second ago, so this is a great opportunity for them to really open up this game here. Ink Strike's coming out.
I'm currently just observing the gameplay and seeing what's going on right now. We had quite a few specials coming out from Night Logic just now. Not really getting too many picks off of Lethal Slide right now, but they are still quite neutral in mid there, not really pushing in. What do you take of
I am hoping Cater gets back soon is what I think. But it's nice. I mean, they got to that first checkpoint. They almost broke through it. So, starting to get some points on the board. Love to see it.
Two people have just went down from Lethal Slide right now. Night Logic is still keeping that hold in mid right now. Really stopping Lethal Slide from getting the push that they need right now. A minute and a half almost on the clock now, so they don't have too long to get that push in that they need.
Yeah, we saw a lot of specials coming out from both sides, but nothing much to show for it, it seems. I saw the vacuum, I saw everything coming down. The hammer. Oh, finally we get a splat. Oh, hammer versus hammer, who will win? Oh, wipeout!
Yo, what's up? I'm back from the dead.
Oh, thank goodness.
I don't know if we never had an introduction. Hi, I'm Cater. I'm joined today by the lovely Marshy. Thank you so much for for filling me in and also being our wonderful streamer. We are watching something on MakoMart that's tower control. I really hope so. I just got back from equipping 3 pures of run speed up and sprinting all the way back to my dorm to get my working mic. How's the game looking, Marshy?
The game's been alright, but both teams have been holding the tower in neutral for quite a while now. The Night Logic being able to get quite a decent push in at the start of the game, but Lethal Slide is still struggling to get tower past checkpoint 1 and really close towards the enemy's side right now.
Yeah, that's definitely fair. I mean, only 38 seconds left in the match. They do have a push going right now, are taking that timer down, get that pick on the head, which is really big, especially for the late game here, but lose their own. 2 down on the side of Night Logic, enabling members of the side to continue pushing up. That back is going to be huge, though, enabling another member to come in and get that kick. That's 2 down the slide, even with the Trish strike out here, only 20 seconds left. Not sure if they're going to be able to keep this momentum up. We have them, Lethal Slide, doing their best to stay on that tower, but I think Nightlog is going to get enough cleanup picks that the push is going to stall out and end there.
As we see, the duration of the game is just playing itself out right now. Lethal Slide not being able to get that tower going as the game now concludes. Game 1 going to the Night Logic.
Yeah, absolutely. Though Lethal Slide kind of was building up to something in the end, I think getting just a little bit staggered off that tower there, not having the full team power behind them led to them not being able to carry that push all the way to where they needed it.
Absolutely. And it is safe to say MakoMart is one of those maps I would say that is quite difficult to get that meaningful push in because of how easy it is to be flanked or getting pushed off the tower there from the enemy team respawning from snipe.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Mako, a map that we all know and love, but especially when you get into that later stages of the tower, that spawn is really, really close to the tower. And you also have those ledges surrounding it, like you could see the back got popped, and that basically gave the cover for another member. I think it might have been the Wiper to come in and get some picks on tower. Just knowing that position, knowing how to get back into the game when you're on your back foot, very important here for Mako Tower.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And coming from personal experience, it is really, really not easy to push into that map, especially if the enemy team has the map in their favor.
Yeah, totally. Well, we're gonna look at our second map here of our best of 3 set, Clam Blitz on Crableg Capital. There's lots of C's in this title here. Any opinions on this one?
I would say Crableg is a pretty solid map. But as for the Clam Blitz layout, I'm not too familiar with it. But from experience of playing it in Little Squid League last tournament, it was quite a strong map for players if they knew really how to play around the grates that are in mid and also the multiple different routes that you can take to get those power clams into the basket.
Yeah, absolutely. A couple extra blocks being and ramps being added on this map, so those slight changes from other modes, like you said, having those alternative routes to throw power clams in, knowing exactly what blocks, what jumps that you can make can be the difference in making or breaking a game as these teams really start readying up. We're only 1 game in, but of course we are in a best of 3 currently, so these sets could possibly go a lot faster than either of these teams want. Just coming off of Riptide where literally everything was best of 5 from pools all the way through bracket. It's almost a little bit unfamiliar to see best of 3s now, but I definitely see the value in them, especially, keeping the tournament going.
Yeah, best of threes are typically a lot shorter than a traditional best of 5 in a tournament, but it also makes all the games very meaningful because you have both teams playing to win. Because it's not like playoff 3. You lose if you lose that set and you get basically lose that set. If you lose it, you can't continue. The 2 points goes to that team, for example.
Yeah, and you can have a lot of those tense 2v1s or game 3s that you see. It takes, like much faster to get to a match point, and therefore the tension's higher, especially, since, like you said, we are in Top Cut.
Top Cut is a very, very mixed bag of players, and you also come across the odd team that would be classed as a dark horse and sometimes can come out on top out of all the teams that were either seeded the best or just mechanically were a lot better in the group stages.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we are going to load into our game here. Take a look at the comps that we got.
Ooh, that Hydra coming out.
Yeah, both have picked that. That's a real interesting pick here. Of course, you have that space control that is definitely going to be led to it. And we'll see how, of course, on the side of Nightlog, if they have that Jet Sculpture, they also have that Edit, so they are not lacking in range at all either. But we know that Hydra definitely packs a punch, so we'll see its position and how it's going to control the space here on Crableg.
I would say personally, coming from personal experience, positioning with Hydra on this map, the grates are very good to be on. especially if you're working on getting a push, because it also enables you getting control of that right side of the map up towards basket, especially if you're trying to get your teammates in to get the basket popped.
Yeah, and speaking of push, we have a wipeout on the side of the Night Logic here. Lethal Slide gonna take this and get in as many clamps as possible. You saw even though we had the vac again out from Night Logic, Lethal Slide said we are not falling for that again. We're going to rush that down. They're throwing in those little camps 2 down, but they already got that down to 44, and it looks like we are going to be seeing a jump out. So 2 down, but they still have those 2 members alive, so they're not completely giving up their map control. Super, super solid push, especially this early on in the game.
Oh yes, absolutely. I'm actually quite familiar with the Hydra players' gameplay. I've played with them in the past, actually. So it's quite exciting to see them playing Hydra here today, actually. Quite nice seeing weapons that are classed as off-meta make it into top put of tournaments, because it really shows even if the weapon is considered bad in a competitive sense, you can still make it work.
Truly, I sure love Hydra and I love Splat Links. Night Logic gonna take this opportunity to bring out another push here. We did see a quick 3 down for a second there on the side of Lethal Slide, but I don't think we have enough follow-up. You can see they're gathering clamps in the back, but I think they know they're not going to get to the basket in time. I mean, only 2 minutes into the game, and we've already had substantial pushes coming out from both sides. Night Logic also are making another power clamp very quickly. It looks like, especially with the 2 specials that they have on live right now, they could be gearing up to another push. We'll see where this
as we can see,
Hammer!
Right now.
Yeah, the Hammer does get canceled, but we do have that back coming out again. It's really nicely. I mean, you can see they're going to eat that Booyah Bomb and just take those back shots in. Unfortunately, Power Clamp 3 does go down here. Just with the Whale coming out and this assist from the Hydra here. I don't know if that push is going to have enough momentum to keep going.
I'm very curious to see how they take the space that they've gotten right now and see if they can make a push out of it.
Yeah, super nice pick from the Hydra here. This is exactly what you're talking about, being on those crates, controlling so much of that space. They just have to watch out for firing from down below, but you can see they're being super conscious of that, hiding in that wall when they need to. And of course, they have the range advantage on that heaven as well. With the Vector, they are going to have that nice place right here. We'll see how this Booyah pans out for them, especially compared to the back coming out from Night Logic. With 2 down on the side of Lethal Slide, Night Logic is going to use this opportunity to push in, though they're not quite in a position to throw that power clamp in yet. We'll see where this takes them.
I'm hoping out of this situation that the push is able to be shut down so they can not get those points in, and Lethal Slide really denies them all of the push right now. As we can see, they're slowly inching up in mid right now, trying to get picks, working on getting specials, and of course keeping that control of the map right there so they can eventually get power clams in when they so fit.
Yeah, super solid defense from Lethal Slide. You see those missiles come out, those displacement, Blaze up here to get that nice hammer cancel, unfortunately getting taken out. But yeah, that's gotta feel incredible, especially, I mean, you could basically see they predicted that with the vertical flick. That has got to be super satisfying.
They were ready for that.
Yeah, they absolutely were. Night Logic is a little bit on the back foot here. We're coming out from Lethal Slide. They're gonna have an advantage as we move into the last minute of this match. 1 down on both sides. That's a nice take on the grades with the Splatling there. That gonna come out again, preventing Lethal Slide from rushing forward. Really coming out both. Almost feels like a death match right now with how these teams are trying to force each other outside of the objective. That is 3 down on the side of Lethal Slide, but Night Logic doesn't have.
I'm curious what this Splatana is up to right now.
Oh man, yeah, that's a fair. I wanted to see that Saber go places. For unfortunate, you know they wanted to get some sort of chunk in.
You know that they wanted to get in there with Hammer, get some picks, but unfortunately that push was predicted and shut down very swiftly.
Yeah, there is still hope for Night Logic heading into the last 20 seconds of this game. Stamper's gonna come out again, looking for that pick. Does get taken out though, so it's only the Jet and the Heavy left. They're gonna pop Cooler, so they have those buffs. But it's gonna be harder against these rush-on weapons. Back and get popped as well. They still have this chance to take it into overtime. Their teammates coming back very nicely placed. Awesome back shot there, gets a pick, but the power clip, the Hydra on the defense there. We are in overtime. That was 3 down the side of Night Logic. We still have the Viper there, so there is still hope that Clam is about to despawn. They're gonna come, they're gonna get it, but with the stamp is gonna go in, gets 1 pick, looking for a second, gets the 2nd pick, but they die themselves. Wipe out, no. I mean, hello, they gotta pick up that Clam, they have to take it, but they miss the shot into the basket. Time is ticking out.
Oh no, they missed the Clam.
Oh,
Oh
that
no!
hurts.
They
Oh
narrowly missed that
no.
basket to take lead. They had it right there, and they
Oh.
sadly messed that up. That was very intense, I do have to say. I was really hoping that they could get that push in last second there, but unfortunately, as we can see, average Splatoon gameplay right here, seeing the power climb, missing that basket.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes that's just how the silly Squid game is, but man, if you're Night Logic, that has gotta hurt. I mean, but can we talk about that Splatana, the wipers positioning and stance for a second? Because like, I know you pointed it out. I got a little distracted, but like when they were all the way on that back block over there, they wanted a little flank. Unfortunately, they did get called out, but that could have been awesome. And then popping that stamp at the end and getting one pick, and then going for and getting that second as well, leaving the opening for their teammates to come back in. Super super clutch overtime play, and it really sucks that it came down to a Blitz Clam. Oh man, nail biting set game. These teams so evenly matched in that second, which means, like we said, pressure's on. We are going to go to that third game of our best of 3 splat zones on Umami Runes. Zones classic. I don't think we'll see the Hydra come out here again necessarily. That might have just been a Crableg pick, or it might not have. I am never averse to seeing more Splatlings. I'm a big Splatling enjoyer. I'm very
From
vocal about that.
from what I could tell from game one, there's a potential that they could bring out heavy edit in this game, but depending on how their comp gets formed, they could bring that Hydra back out again. But even so, on a map like this with how closed in it is, I would say Hydra is just a little bit too slow to keep up with modern day meta at the moment.
Maybe, yeah. I mean, a lot of us. I mean, you see this in pretty much all levels of Splatoon gameplay, that the pace of this game, I feel, with the meta is just getting faster and faster. I mean, you have tacticoolers at the beginning of every game. You have Head It, which is kind of just a faster heavy. I mean, I know there's more nuance to it, but like really on paper, it kind of boils down to being that. You have all of these super fast, aggressive comps, and so Hydra, although that, and as and Pencil too, is very much the backline of choice for a lot of teams. So, although Hydra really does pack a punch, sometimes its slower positioning can leave it a little bit weaker to these.
I would say that edit is one of the best weapons for cleaning up situations, or in general just getting picks when they're trying to farm that cooler. Purely because of its attack speed. It has in recent patches been nerfed the slightest bit, but to be honest, for people who play the weapon quite regularly, it's not too bad of an issue. Like, it is still able to take care of what it needs to do. And I think that's what the beauty is with such a strong tactical weapon, in my opinion.
Yeah, totally. Like, I mean, like you said, having that cooler already a plus to a super strong weapon, range, power. Little tiny nerf's not going to stop that at all. I mean, yeah, I don't think we're not going to see the wipers come out, especially with how strong those stamp plays were and how stamp can be, if it's not canceled, one of those specials that you throw out to paint back over the zone, kind of like Tri Strike, kind of like Booyah Bomb. All of these kind of almost free take back specials, they all have their weakness. Some of them can be painted over, some of them can be rushed down, but it really helps to have at least one of those specials on your team in a pinch if you need to take it back and just apply that penalty.
True, true. Oh, Lord. But as we can see, game one and game two went to either side, so we are getting ready to go into the third game to see who takes match point.
Oh, totally. These best of 3 sets, go by so much faster than you think they will. And both of these teams definitely have to be feeling the heat. Lethal Slide having a lot of momentum coming off that last game and really locking down on that defense. But of course, Night Logic on the other hand, still having, they know they have the capability to pull off pushes like that they can get themselves together and really go for it, especially in overtime. Now, Splat zones, of course, not always seeing that overtime, more often just seeing lots of backs and forths and small point. How do I put this? Small differences in points between teams, very close games until it's
Oh,
driven.
yeah. When it's backwards and forwards very often. Yeah, I get what you mean.
E-Jet coming out and the Gal as well. And we have
Oh,
it's kinda
no Splatlings this game.
yeah, so we have switch ups from both sides. On the side of the Night Logic, they're gonna bring out that Jet now. So we have the Mist and the Storm, the Junior, the 52, and then we actually have, I believe that's 96 Tico coming from Lethal Slide. And
Oh
then
yeah.
they have the Splash, they got the Tri new bow, and then they have that T-Tech as well. So yeah, no Splatlings. That Jet, the longest range weapon here on the field. Of course, that Tri also start having a field day here with this, all these ledges on mid, either being below, on top of them. They are really going to enjoy that, and they're going to paint a lot for that cooler as well. First pick going to Lethal Slide there for a bit, because True Night Logic already using their special to push back in that Storm, putting down a lot of necessary hate. But the Strikes are going to come right back and take a lot of area, and then they have that crack, and you can see all the way up there, looking for picks. Well, we have the Stamper coming in from behind it, getting one pick, looking for the second around the corner here. Gonna find it as well. They get take it out themselves, but that is a super nice double, gonna lend control to Night Logic.
Super strong weapons on the court today. Seeing very different variations of comps, which is quite interesting. We don't see 96 Gal coming out very often nowadays in tournaments, actually, especially the Kraken variants. So it's nice to see it again.
Yeah, super cool. That whale gonna come out from Night Logic. You have the cooler from Lethal Slide. Night Logic still solidly having the zone under control. You can see all of this orange on the map, making it really, really difficult for the members of Lethal Slide to come in, trying to drop down, find some purchase here, but getting taken out by that 52 Gal. Another member goes down. That's 2 down on the side of Lethal Slide. This Stamper gonna come out, look for a pick on that Tri-Slosher, causing some havoc in the zone. That Tri-Slosher does get taken out. We are at now 27 remaining. The members of Lethal Slide being a little bit staggered now, even getting that one pick. Now this jump is just into the middle of the zone for the Tri. They are looking for a pick. They don't get it because they are isolated. We are in the single digits now. Those Tri-Strikes are going to come onto the zone. They're going to be on the middle instead of the zone, though, and that is just going to get painted over. There's no penalty applied. That's a KO.
That was a very fast game, actually. You could just see the counter going down ever so slightly. Seeing that counter going down as well as the clock, and Lethal Slide desperately trying to get that push back in, but not being able to. Quite an unfortunate situation.
Yeah, unfortunate indeed. Little fist bump there on the end screen to cement that victory. Oh man, that was, I mean, we saw relatively dominant from Night Logic, struggle for that for the first game, struggle for that second game, and then Night Logic coming back and saying, if you're staggered and you don't have that full team power, you're going to be alone in the zone. We have that turf control. We're able to just take you out a lot easier.
And then causes them to get sadly punished as a result.